My girlfriend said, "Why can't you be successful like my ex?" I replied, "You're right, he was better." Then I called her ex and told him she's been calling him crying for months when he blocked her, and she blamed me for ruining her backup plan. I'm grabbing a beer as I type this because I still can't believe the level of I just dealt with 4 years down the drain, but honestly, good riddance. It started about 8 months ago last July. I'd been with Tara for almost 4 years at that point. We were living together in a house I bought 2 years into our relationship. Splitting costs, I covered the mortgage since it was my house. She handled utilities and groceries. Fair deal, I thought. The first 3 years were decent. We had our issues like any couple, but nothing major. She worked at a boutique downtown. I run my own confirmed business. Small operation, but steady work and good money. I'm not flashy about it though. Drive a 10-year-old truck, live in a modest house, save most of what I earn. My old man taught me money talks, wealth whispers. Tara started acting different last summer. Always on her phone, getting irritated over small things, picking fights, the usual signs something's up. But the real eye-opener was when she started comparing me to her ex, Craig. Craig was some kind of finance guy in the city, drove a BMW, wore expensive suits, took luxury vacations. They dated for 2 years before us. According to her, he was the one that got away, though she'd never put it that directly until recently. It started with small comments. Craig always sent flowers to my workplace randomly. Craig knew how to dress for nice restaurants. Craig would have remembered it was our dating anniversary. I mostly ignored this crap. I'm not competing with some dude from her past. But one night in February, the comments turned into a full-blown attack. We were having dinner at home. Nothing fancy, just burgers I grilled. She was scrolling through Instagram while eating. Something I hate, but whatever. Suddenly, she shows me her phone. "Look at Craig's new beach house," she said. "Must be nice to date someone with ambition." I looked at the picture. Some douchey-looking guy standing in front of an oceanfront property with his arm around a blonde woman. "Good for him," I said, taking another bite of my burger. "That's it. Good for him. Don't you ever want more than this?" She gestured around our kitchen. "I'm happy with what I've built," I said. "My business is doing well. The house is coming along great since the renovation. We've got a good life." She rolled her eyes. "We could have so much more. Why can't you be successful like Craig?" That was it. The switch flipped. "You're right," I said calmly. "He was better. Maybe you should have stayed with him." Her face went through about 5 different expressions in 2 seconds. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm tired of hearing about perfect Craig. If he's so amazing, why aren't you with him? He broke up with me. You know that. She snapped. Right. And now you're settling for me while wishing I was him. Makes a guy feel real special. She backpedaled hard. Said I was misunderstanding. That she just wanted us to level up our lifestyle. That she believed in my potential. I didn't buy it for a second, but I let it go for the night. Went to bed thinking maybe I was overreacting. Big mistake. The next morning, while Tara was in the shower, her phone kept buzzing on the nightstand. I'm not the snooping type, but after last night something felt off. The notifications were from someone named C with a bunch of heart emojis after the name. I opened the messages. Yep, it was Craig. Dozens of messages going back at least 6 months all the way to September. Tara telling him how much she missed him. How she made a mistake letting him go. How she thinks about him all the time. Most damning was a message from just 3 days earlier. "I know you're with someone new now, but I can't stop thinking about what we had. If things were different, I'd be there in a heartbeat." Craig's responses were polite but distant. "Thanks for checking in. Hope you're doing well too." That's nice of you to say. He wasn't encouraging her, but he wasn't shutting it down either. And she was straight up emotional cheating. When she got out of the shower, I was sitting on the bed with her phone in my hand. "Who's C?" I asked, even though I knew. Her face went white. "Why are you going through my phone?" "Who is C, Tara?" "It's just Craig. We're friends. It's nothing." Friends don't tell friends, as they'd leave their current relationship in a heartbeat to be with them. She started crying, said I didn't understand, that she and Craig had history, that she was just feeling nostalgic, but would never act on it, that she loved me and only me. I almost believed her, almost. "I need some space," I told her. "I'm going to stay at my brother's for a few days." She panicked, begged me not to go, said she'd block Craig right then and there. I said I needed time to think regardless. At my brother's place, I did some digging. Found Craig on LinkedIn easily enough. Craig Thornton, senior investment advisor at some big firm in the city. His contact info was right there for potential clients. I called him the next day from my work phone, introduced myself directly. "Craig, my name is Matt. I'm Tara Wilson's boyfriend." Silence for a moment. Okay. What can I help you with?" "I wanted you to know that Tara's been messaging you for months behind my back, telling you she misses you, wants to be with you, all that. Based on your responses, I'm guessing you're just being polite. More silence then. Look, man, I'm sorry about this. I didn't want to be rude to her, but I'm not interested. I'm engaged now. I've tried to keep the conversation short. I figured, but there's something else you should know. She's been telling me you're the one initiating contact. That you're constantly calling her crying about your breakup, even years later. That you can't let her go. What? That's completely false. I haven't called her once since we broke up. She's the one who keeps messaging me every few weeks. My fiancé has even noticed and asked me to block her, but I felt bad about it. Exactly what I suspected. I thought so. Look, I'm not trying to cause drama. I just wanted to know the truth. No, I appreciate the call. This is concerning. You should know this isn't the first time. When we broke up years ago, she showed up at my office multiple times until building security had to speak with her. I thought she'd moved on since meeting you. That was news to me. I had no idea. It's not your fault, Craig said. But given the pattern, I think I need to be more direct about boundaries. I'll be blocking her number. If she contacts me through other means, I'll let you know. Thanks, man. Sorry you got dragged into this. Not your fault. Good luck with whatever you decide to do with this information. I spent 3 more days at my brother's thinking things over. 5 days total away from home. Tara called and texted constantly, alternating between apologizing and accusing me of overreacting. Classic manipulation. When I went home, I had a plan. I didn't confront her immediately about my conversation with Craig. Instead, I acted like I was willing to work things out, but needed more honesty. I want to understand why you're still hung up on Craig. I said, what is it about him that you can't let go of? She took the bait, started telling me how Craig was her one that got away, how he'd call her sometimes just to hear her voice, and how it was hard for her because she could tell he still had feelings for her. When was the last time he called you? I asked, last week. She lied smoothly. He was pretty emotional. That's weird because I talked to him yesterday and he said he hasn't called you once since your breakup. Said you're the one who keeps messaging him. He also mentioned you showing up at his office multiple times after your breakup until security had to get involved. Her face, man, I wish I had a picture of her face in that moment. Pure panic. You called him. Why would you do that? To get the truth, which I clearly wasn't getting from you. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. You've been lying to both of us, making me feel like I don't measure up to him, while simultaneously throwing yourself at him behind my back. And on top of that, making up complete about him not being able to let you go when the truth is the exact opposite. She switched tactics instantly. Tears flowed. She fell to her knees. I'm sorry. I was just confused. I made a mistake. Please don't throw away 4 years over this. The mistake wasn't messaging him. The mistake was making me feel like crap for not being him while lying to my face and using him as some kind of backup plan. She actually stopped crying when I said that. Got defensive. He wasn't a backup plan. Oh, really? Then what was he? I just wanted to keep the connection in case what? In case things didn't work out with us. People do that all the time. And there it was. The truth. I think it's time we end this. I said, this isn't working anymore. You can't break up with me over this. Everyone makes mistakes. I'm not breaking up with you over a mistake. I'm breaking up with you over a pattern of lying, manipulation, and disrespect. You can't just kick me out. I've been living here for years. I have rights. This was something I'd actually researched during my days at my brother's. I'd spoken to my lawyer about the legal situation since Tara had been living with me for so long. You're right. I said, you've established teeny. Legally, I need to give you proper notice. I've checked, and in our state, that's 30 days. So you have until March 15th to find a new place. I'm willing to be civil about this, but we're done. Her face cycled through shock, anger, and calculation. I can't afford my own place right now. You know that. You can stay with your mother. She's got that spare room you always complain about. Matt, please. We can work this out. I'll stop talking to Craig. I'll go to therapy. Anything. It's too late for that. I can't trust you anymore. The next few days were a nightmare of crying, pleading, and threats. She'd change tactics hourly. She loved me. She hated me. She'd change. I was overreacting. She'd tell everyone I abused her. I was the love of her life. I was ruining her life. The bombshell dropped 2 days later when she got an email from Craig. He didn't just block her number. He sent her a formal cease and desist letter from his lawyer, citing her pattern of unwanted contact and threatening legal action if she contacted him again by any means. She burst into my home office, waving her phone with the email open. Did you tell him to do this? Are you trying to humiliate me? I just told him the truth. What he did with that information is his business. You've ruined everything, she screamed. He was my backup plan. Everyone needs a backup plan. I just stared at her. The absolute lack of self-awareness was stunning. I think you should start packing, I said quietly. The sooner you move out, the sooner we can both move on. Somehow, that cut through her rage. She looked at me for a long moment, then nodded once and walked out. 3 days later, she'd packed most of her things and left for her mother's house. We agreed she could come back for the rest of her stuff the following weekend when I'd be home. When she came to get the rest of her things, I had my brother there as a witness. We recorded everything to avoid any claims of damaged or stolen items later. She was cold but civil, and the whole process took less than 2 hours. That was 3 weeks ago. She's been staying with her mother based on the angry call I got from the woman accusing me of breaking her daughter's heart. I didn't bother explaining. Some people only hear what they want to hear. The aftermath has been predictably messy. Mutual friends taking sides, her telling people I snooped through her private conversations and overreacted to innocent messages. Me showing those same people the screenshots I took of those innocent messages. The kicker came yesterday. A text from an unknown number. This is Anna, Craig's fiancée. I wanted to thank you for your call with Craig. Tara showed up at our home last night demanding to speak with him. Security removed her from the building. We filed a police report. I thought you should know. I almost felt bad for Tara at that point. Almost. But then I remembered the months of comparisons, the lies, the emotional manipulation. Turns out I am successful at dodging a bullet. I changed the locks yesterday, blocked her number today. Currently enjoying a beer on my back deck, planning a fishing trip with my brother. Life's too short to be someone's silver medal. Edit. Thanks for all the responses. To answer some common questions. Yes, I let her get her remaining belongings. I had my brother here when she came, and we recorded everything to avoid any claims of damaged stolen items. No, I don't feel bad about contacting Craig. If she wasn't lying about their communication, I wouldn't have had any reason to call him. For those saying everyone has a backup plan, if that's your relationship strategy, I feel sorry for your partner. Update, 3 weeks later. It's been about a month since everything went down, and I thought I'd post an update since so many people messaged asking for one. First off, I'm doing fine. The house feels weirdly peaceful now. I've rearranged some furniture, cleaned out the guest room Tara had been using as a creative space. Translation: dumping ground for clothes she never wore and craft projects she never finished, and generally reclaimed my space. It's amazing how much tension leaves a home when a toxic person does. The fallout with friends has settled into a predictable pattern. People who knew both of us have mostly picked sides by now. My real friends stuck with me, especially after seeing the evidence. A few mutual acquaintances chose to believe Tarara's version, where I'm the controlling high-biased who couldn't handle her harmless friendship with an ex. Fine by me. Those people just revealed themselves as not worth my time. Tara's moved in with her mother temporarily. According to friends, she's telling everyone she's using the time to find herself and heal from trauma. Whatever helps her sleep at night. The most interesting development came from Craig of all people. He emailed me, found my business contact to give me a heads up that Tara's behavior had escalated. After the incident where security removed her from their building, she showed up at their condo demanding to speak with Craig. She apparently created new social media accounts to contact both Craig and Anna, claiming I was abusive and she needed Craig's help. Craig, to his credit, didn't buy it for a second. He forwarded everything to his lawyer, who added it to their case for a restraining order. He wanted me to know, in case Tara tried to use my name or drag me into her narrative somehow. I thanked him for the warning and apologized again that my ex-girlfriend had become his problem. He was actually pretty cool about it. Said he understood what I was going through because Tara had shown similar obsessive tendencies when they were breaking up years ago. Apparently, one of the reasons he ended things was her constant insecurity and need for validation, which would then flip to anger when he couldn't give her the constant reassurance she wanted. Sound familiar? Yeah, I recognized the pattern immediately. Wish I'd seen it sooner. 2 days after Craig's email, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was Tara's mother asking if we could talk about the situation like adults. I politely declined, saying there was nothing to discuss. She replied with a long paragraph about how Tara was struggling and how I should consider that we'd been together for 4 years and shouldn't throw that away over a misunderstanding. I didn't respond. There was no misunderstanding. Tara wasn't just casually chatting with an ex. She was actively pursuing him while making me feel inadequate for not being him. Then she admitted he was her backup plan. There's no coming back from that level of disrespect. Tara tried a new approach last week. She sent a handwritten letter since I blocked her digitally with a key to my house enclosed. The letter was full of apologies saying she'd been doing intensive therapy after 3 weeks. Sure. And had realized her attachment issues and fear of abandonment had driven her behavior. Maybe that's true. Probably it is. But understanding why someone treats you like crap doesn't obligate you to give them another chance to do it again. I did something that might surprise people with the letter. I called her mum and arranged to meet at a coffee shop to return it. Not to reconcile, but to make something crystal clear face to face. When we met, her mother immediately launched into how Tara had learned her lesson and grown so much in the past few weeks. I let her finish, then put the unopened letter on the table. I appreciate you meeting me, I said, but I want to be absolutely clear. Tara and I are done. Not taking a break. Not working things out. Done. I'm returning this because I don't want her to think I'm reading her letters or considering reconciliation. Her mum started tearing up. She made one mistake. She made hundreds of mistakes. Every message to Craig was a choice. Every comparison of me to him was a choice. And telling me to my face that he was her backup plan wasn't a mistake. It was the truth slipping out. She doesn't have anywhere to go. Her mother said she can't afford her own place right now. And there it was. The real reason for this meeting. Not because Tara missed me so desperately, but because her mother was tired of having her living at home and wanted me to solve the problem. That's not my concern anymore, I said, standing up. I wish both of you the best, but I'm moving on with my life. Please don't contact me again. As I was walking out, her mom called after me. She really does love you, you know. I stopped and turned back. No, she loved the stability and comfort I provided while she kept her options open. That's not love, that's convenience. The look on her face told me she knew I was right. I haven't heard from either of them since. I've thrown myself into work, started renovating my kitchen, something Tara always opposed because it would be too messy, and even went on a date last weekend. Nothing serious, just dinner with a woman my buddy's wife introduced me to. It was refreshing to have a conversation with someone who seemed genuinely interested in my life, instead of constantly comparing it to someone else's. I don't know what Tara is doing now, and for the first time in years, I really don't care. My brother says that's progress. He's right. I'm done being anyone's backup plan, second choice, or safety net. I'd rather be alone than be with someone who's constantly looking over my shoulder for something better. The kitchen renovation is coming along great, by the way. Sometimes you have to tear everything down to build something better. Final update, 2 months later. Didn't expect to be posting again, but some crazy stuff happened in the past couple weeks that I thought would give closure to those following this saga. First, the basics. I'm doing well. House renovations are nearly complete. Business is thriving. Landed 2 major contracts last month, and I've been seeing that woman, Ellie, for my last update. Taking it slow, but it's been good. She's straightforward, independent, and most importantly, doesn't compare me to anyone else. Now for the Tara update. 3 weeks ago, I was having drinks with some friends when one of them, Kevin, showed me his phone. It was Tara's Instagram story, something I wouldn't normally see since I blocked her everywhere. What I saw was genuinely shocking. Tara was at some rooftop bar downtown, arm in arm with a guy who looked eerily similar to Craig. Same haircut, similar build, even dressed in the same style of expensive-looking suit, but definitely not Craig. She's dating Craig's clone, Kevin said. Been posting about her amazing new man for about 2 weeks now. I just laughed and handed the phone back. Not my circus, not my monkeys. The next day I got a call from a blocked number. Against my better judgment, I answered. It was Craig. Hey Matt, sorry to bother you. He began sounding uncomfortable, but I thought you should know something weird is going on with Tara. He explained that several of his colleagues had congratulated him on reconnecting with his ex after seeing them together at various spots around the city. Except Craig hadn't seen Tara since that incident where security removed her from his building. Turns out Tara was dating a new guy who worked at a rival financial firm in the same district as Craig. She was deliberately taking him to restaurants, bars and cafes near Craig's office at times when Craig would likely be there. And apparently, she'd been introducing him to people as Craig, even though the guy's name was Michael. I wouldn't care, except she started telling people I'm leaving Anna for her. Craig said it got back to Anna's parents. It's creating real problems. I apologized, though it wasn't my mess to fix. Craig said he wasn't blaming me, just wanted me to know in case she was pulling me into her narrative somehow. His lawyer was sending another cease and desist, this time for defamation. 2 days later, I got an email from Tara's mother with the subject line, "Please help." I almost deleted it, but curiosity got the better of me. The email was a plea for me to talk to Tara. Apparently, she'd become unrecognizable in recent weeks. The new boyfriend, Michael, had already broken things off after discovering she was calling him by another man's name and apparently had pictures of Craig in her phone. Her mother was concerned Tara was having some kind of breakdown and thought I might be able to get through to her. I wrote back a simple, polite response. I'm sorry Tara is struggling, but I can't be involved. Please encourage her to seek professional help. I meant it. Whatever is going on with Tara isn't normal post-breakup behavior. The Craig obsession, the look-alike boyfriend, the deliberate attempts to create the illusion they're back together. That's concerning on a level beyond typical ex-drama. Her mother didn't respond, which was fine by me. I'd said my piece. Last Saturday brought the final curtain down on this bizarre show. It was actually Anna and Craig's engagement dinner. I know this because Ellie and I had been invited. Turns out Anna and Ellie knew each other from college, which was a complete coincidence we discovered on our third date. Small world. We were at an upscale restaurant downtown, a place that requires reservations weeks in advance. As we were waiting for our check at the end of the evening, I spotted a familiar figure at the bar, Tara. She was alone, staring into her phone, occasionally looking anxiously toward the door. She hadn't noticed us or the private room where the engagement dinner had been held. I quietly mentioned to Craig that Tara was at the bar. He and Anna exchanged concerned glances. She must have seen the engagement announcement on social media. Anna said, "This is getting scary." Craig immediately notified the manager, who agreed to have security nearby as they left. I asked for our check, wanting to leave before any drama could unfold. What happened next was both sad and vindicating. As Craig and Anna emerged from the private room with their party, heading toward the front exit, Tara spotted them and literally knocked over her bar stool standing up. She called Craig's name loudly enough that several tables turned to look. Craig and Anna saw her, immediately turned around and walked toward the kitchen exit with their group. Tara hurried after them, leaving her purse and jacket at the bar. The bartender looked confused, then shrugged and went back to mixing drinks. Just another Saturday night drama. I signed my check and Ellie and I slipped out a side door to avoid the commotion. As we walked to my truck, I caught a glimpse of Craig and Anna getting into their car while a security guard stood between them and Tara, who was standing on the sidewalk, still calling after them. "Ex-girlfriend?" Ellie asked as I opened her door. "Long story," I said, "but yes. Want to talk about it?" "Actually, no." I realized that chapter's closed, and it is. Whatever's happening with Tara now isn't my responsibility or concern. I hope she gets help genuinely, but I'm focused on my own path forward. When I got home that night, I deleted the few remaining photos of Tara and me that were still on my phone. Not out of anger or pain, but because they no longer felt relevant to my life. Like clearing out old files you no longer need. The next morning, I woke up early, brewed some coffee, and sat on my newly finished deck watching the sunrise. No drama, no comparisons, no backup plans. Just peace and the knowledge that I chose myself when it mattered. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about getting free.